This is Marzay, and I wanted to start a blog or vlog, however you want to say it, talking about mental health issues or aspects or different things that happen in the lives of people. This is something that I want to try. This is first episode, first basis on it. It's not my podcast. It's something just a little different where I upload personal videos about different things affecting us or what people might go to or even be personal the things I might have gone through. So I wanted to talk about first is something that I have been trying to fix or make better per se, which is people pleasing. People pleasing. And I know people have heard that word before. It's not a scientific term, but it does have a definition. And so the first question that somebody might ask is, what is people pleasing? So, by definition, by Google and their sisters, it is described as a person who consistently strives to please others, often sacrificing their own wants or needs in the process. Does that sound familiar to most of y'all? Probably so for some of you. Most people want to feel love and value, especially in close relationships. All right, so first off, people who are people pleasers want to feel valued, want to feel loved, want to feel appreciated. They want that closeness that they're lacking in life. It's basically you're trying to fill a void, and you find yourself over exerting, and a lot of people don't even realize. They don't even realize that it's happening because that leads to the next question: why does it happen? Well, definition kind of answers that as far as what it is and why does it happen. It happens because people are lacking something, and also something I have learned personally is people do not set boundaries. So because they don't set boundaries early and because they want to be loved and they want the attention, it's easy to use people pleasers and it's easy to get over them. It's easy to manipulate them. It is easy to make things bad for them. And they kind of let it happen because in order to get this attention that I am asking for and seeking for from this person, especially if it's somebody you love, where it's like a close family member, your favorite cousin, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, even your kids, your people, the job you're trying to impress, you will let people overstep boundary after boundary after boundary after boundary after boundary until you're borderline a pushover. What somebody might say with Martin. Aren't those the same thing? Kinda, but no. It can lead to being a pushover, in my opinion, my estimation. But not pushing yourself to make those tough decisions early can lead to a lot of heartbreak and pain later. Trust me on that. I understand that completely. So let's get into what some of the signs are. You might start getting angry easily now or be resentful. People who are out there who are folks who overexert and always push to be the best and always want to be, the I gotta do it, I gotta have it, I gotta make sure I'm on top of my game. They get resentful real easy. Now you might not see it, but they know. And sometimes if you do see it, you can catch it, but you know, I have been resentful towards a lot of people in the past because it's like I'm doing all this for you. I'm pushing myself for you, for your attention, for your love, for your just whatever I'm trying to be a part of. I want to be looked at as number one in your life. And so therefore, these are the things that I'm going through. And now I'm getting angry because you're not reciprocating what I give or you're not acknowledging it. And those are huge for people pleasers. You can't, you know, do things to them and then don't expect them to, you know, they be looking for it back. You want that feedback. I want you to tell me good job and things like that. And it's crazy because honestly, it's effed up, but nobody owes you anything. You know what I'm saying? That's just real talk. Nobody owes you a thing. You avoid confrontation. That was my Number one thing. I would tell people in a second, I hate confrontation. I probably had maybe 4 or 5 real arguments with people outside of my spouse the last 5, 6 years. I mean, arguments I done had with people this year alone, like real life confrontations, like real life issues with my family and my wife. It's about 10 or 15 this year. That's probably the most in the last 10 or 15 years. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna give a damn, but when you finally try to potential yourself and you finally start healing, those are things we're gonna also talk about this series if people want to hear about it. You you ain't scared of confrontation no more. It don't scare me no more. Because it's a real fear because you avoid it because you don't want to lose that person or you don't want to lose that attention that they bring to you, or you don't want to let them down, things like that. People pleasers really are good people and they really have your back probably more than anybody else. They're usually your go-to person. That's why a lot of times people say check on your friend that checks on everybody, because they're probably the people pleaser of the group, and they're probably losing their goddamn mind every day because it takes a lot of energy to try to be that person. And I would definitely get into things of what I did living in that pleaser phase for most of my life. Um,
This is a reminder. Take stupid medicine.
and I apologize
This is
because
a reminder.
I keep forgetting to cut
Take
Alexa
stupid
off.
medicine.
Don't know why. So I'm glad it's a blog and not a podcast. Disagreeing with others feels scared. And it's kind of like the confrontation thing. It's like you're scared to say no. You're scared to say no to anything. You agree to some crazy stuff. You agree to things you don't like. You agree to things that you don't want to be a part of. People pleasing. I'm not gonna go through all the signs, but those are some of them. The boundaries. You have difficulty making boundaries because you make it an easy access for yourself because you want to continue to be in the presence of those people, or that person, whoever it may be. You're on the edge all the time and anxious. I don't know. You see me shaking. I get nervous. My leg shakes, and it's like you're always worried that people are going to cut you off and abandon you. And a lot of times, people pleasing can lead to it's like a direct link to abandonment issues and things like that. Or in one of the last signs, you take on responsibility for other people's feelings. Besides the confrontation and setting boundaries, that's probably the worst one I had. A lot of times people would tell me something and I thought it was my issue. I thought it was my job to make it work. I thought it was my job to make them feel better, and it wasn't. It's not. So, to my people pleasers out there who's trying to work on it, it's not your job. They don't like you, and you know you're a good person. It's not your fault. It's their fault. It's their issue. There's something wrong with them, not nothing wrong with you. So you got to remember that. Those are just some things, the basics of people pleasing, just to start it off, just to see if people even like, see where we're going with this. But I would definitely want to, the crazy stuff I did, very crazy, trying to avoid being continuing to be the outcast that I was growing up. That the levels I would go to get that adoration and just that validation and not be out here all alone, you know what I'm saying? So you realize being alone is actually good sometimes. So my people pleasers out there who trying to get better, we gonna get it right. I ain't no counselor, ain't no therapist. I'm just somebody who went through some of this stuff. And I'm gonna tell y'all ways I dealt with it and how I handled it and how I got over it, how I got better. Like I said, I done had about 10 to 15 fights this year with people. Like real life, I ain't scared to cuss you back out. That takes a lot. So this is me, more Xavier, Conway Corner. See y'all later.